Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Rifter number 8, Halloween issue 1999. Today, we are going to talk about werebats. We're also going to talk about multi-classing, but mostly it's going to be about werebats. So let's check it out.
We're gonna seance like it's 1999.
There you go. Suck it, Prince.
He's dead.
Here we go. Stop it. I said stop it.
But I'm not the only one that's having problems.
Yeah. All right. Where are we going? Okay. Lycanthropes are not a populous species. The various strains of their genera, I suppose that's a word, are scattered throughout the globe, and only 4 varieties exist in any large numbers. You're going to be werewolves, werebears, weretigers, and werejaguars. But there are other variants. It's just that people don't see them a lot, and so you can't really prove they exist. Like, say, were crocodiles, were sharks, were snakes, stuff like that. So if it's your table, you can have were whatever. Doesn't matter. They're just.
I already said that you're a were hominid.
There you go. But you better not make them populous, then you'll be breaking a little bit. But in this instance, let's say you want werebats. Well, we got some werebats for you. All right. One strain of lycanthrope family, long whispered but never seen, that has recently come to light thanks to the dogged determination of the Boston-based parapsychologist Brian Donahue and his team of investigators. Now, remember, this is based in either Nightbane or Beyond the Supernatural, where parapsychology is a thing. Because in Rifts, it's not parapsychology, it's just psychology, because
everything's para.
Everything's para, so it's just psychology, right? That's how it works. All right. Donahue labored for decades in an attempt to track down the elusive figures, ignoring the jibes of his colleagues that considered his task futile, read stupid. Despite their own encounters with vampires, werewolves, and demons from beyond the pale, they scoffed at this guy's attempts to locate the fabled werebat. For me, I wouldn't be scoffing at him for trying to locate a species that we can't prove exists. There are vampires, there are werewolves, there are werebears, there are demons. Werebats are probably real, but dude, why do you want to poke the werebat? Don't do that. If we can't find them, that means they're not killing us. Leave them alone. That'd be my take on this.
So it's not like finding Sasquatch?
No, because Sasquatch would probably not immediately start, oh, humans are now a problem, start killing humans. No. But a were creature who has purposefully stayed away from humans so much that we can't prove they exist. Now humans are bothering me. Now it's on. I don't want that. No one wants that. Donahue, get another hobby. I don't know. Do something else. Play darts.
Can you zoom in just a touch on that? Because there we go. I can read it now.
Okay. So in Southeast Asia, in the jungles of Southeast Asia, after 2 decades of research and chasing down false leads, he finally came face to face with werebats. Of course, they don't wish to be found, and they nearly destroyed Donahue's entire expedition. Duh. Dude, I called it. Only the appearance of a more bizarre race of creatures, humanoid insects known as the Kumungus. The Kumungus are among us. That's it.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yep. Saved Donahue and his crew. The werebats transferred their rage at Donahue to the Kumungus, and Donahue and his companions aided the werebats against the insects. So guess what? Enemy of my enemy is my friend, and his entire expedition wasn't murdered. And in doing so, he got to learn a lot about werebats, which is what he wanted. But he only survived because he was lucky, not good. Now, there are 5 tribes right here. Werebats are a secretive folk, never fond of humans, fairy, or even other lycanthropes. They stay away from everybody. That's why they're so hard to find, because they don't like anyone. Anyone that's not a werebat, they don't trust. They don't like. Get out of my face. All right. They're all hunters and predators. They're also nomads. So kind of like what we learned about Native Americans in school, where during certain parts of the year, they would constantly move from one area of the region to another following the food or following the weather. This is what they do. And since they can transform into humans, they commonly, depending on where they are, if they're in Europe, they're gypsies. If they're in America, they're sometimes a biker gang during their migration. Or they just fly as bats. It depends on if there's human beings around or human settlements around, or if it's just all forest. If it's just all forest from one end to the other, they'll just be bats and just fly around like bats, whatever. It's fine. But if there's people around, they got to get through the people, they'll disguise themselves as people. Makes sense. So let's talk about the variations, the 5 variations of the werebats. This one is the Silistries. Notice I know how to pronounce that because it gives a phonetic spelling right here.
I saw that.
The werebats that make their home in Canada and the United States are known as Silistries. They are perhaps the most violent and deadly of the Charonis, and over the centuries have earned the sobriquet. Sobriquet. Sounds French, don't like it. The poisoners. The reason they're called poisoners is because in their bat form, their saliva is, guess what? Guess.
Poison?
There you
venom?
go.
No, venom. It. Venom. I got to say it right. Venom.
It's actually kind of like poison, but whatever.
Okay.
Like all Charonis, however, the Silistries prefer to live alone, apart from other humans and other lycanthropes, apart even from bats. They don't like anyone, and they are violent. Violently opposed to being around people.
How do they identify their own?
I suppose they can smell it. Just like all were creatures, they have a heightened sense of smell.
Echolocation response.
They all have echolocate. I'm going to get into that. Don't worry.
Okay.
The Silistries are rowdy, obnoxious, and sensual. They even like drinking in bars, dancing in nightclubs, and experimenting with various illegal substances that have almost no effects on their supernatural metabolism because they are were creatures. They heal real fast, even from drugs and hallucinogenics. But they still like doing it because it gives 5 minutes of a high. It's fine. Whatever. But when they're in a bar, there's probably going to be a bar fight. Yeah, that's the way it is. If they're at a concert, if it's a mosh pit, they're going to hurt people. That's how it is, man. That's just how they roll. They're not having fun unless they're getting drunk, getting high, or getting in a fight. That's how it is. They do not concern themselves with weighty matters. The most they worry about is where their next meal is coming from or where they're going to score some more drugs. They live for the moment, never planning ahead, preferring to stumble through life one step at a time. So, outsmarting them with a plan, probably going to work. They don't plan. They just react. They react to what's in front of them, and that's it. It does not help them in war or in a protracted battle, which is why they don't hang around anyone. They don't suffer anyone around them. Now, the Silistries werebats produce a virulent poison in place of their saliva. Slightly acidic, the solution does no harm to the bearer, but can function as ordinary saliva in addition to the damage it causes to anything the Silistries clamps its teeth onto. Simply applying the poisonous saliva to flesh causes 1d4 points of damage and burns severely. That's the acidic part of it. But if you're able to get your teeth into an exposed patch of flesh, creating a wound, the poison will enter the bloodstream. The victim then must make a saving throw versus lethal poison at -2. And if the save is made, he or she suffers 4d6 points of damage. If it's failed, it's 46 damage directly to hit points.
Ouch.
Yeah. That is no joke. And that's them. Now, we got another one, the Kunacomb. Werebats of Africa are an odd lot. Less savage than their cousins in America or Asia, but with much more room to move around. The Kunacomb have been able to hide more effectively from the rest of the world and have dedicated themselves to pursuits more esoteric than simple survival. Less obsessed with the physical, the Kunacomb are masters of mental and mystic arts.
So they're the Wiccan bats.
Well, yeah. Okay. I can get with that. Yeah. But what can they do? And a lot of this is dumb, but here's their variation. All werebats of the Kunacomb nation are gifted with magical or psionic abilities. About 60% are equal to a mystic, 30% equal to an astral mage. The remaining 10% of the Kunukome population, 1% will be sonically attuned to the dream stream, which is the dumbest freaking thing ever, while the rest will be astral psionicists. So if you are using this in Nightbane, you want to use it correctly, you have to have supplemental books that talk about the dream stream and astral psionicists and astral mages in more detail. No, I don't. That's why I don't like this one. I looked at too much. And then we have the Magyars, which does not give a pronunciation. Everyone, oh no, they'll pronounce that fine, whatever. They represent the average werebat. This means they have no variant power. It's just normal werebat stuff. So likely this is the original strain of werebat. The other strains are evolutionary offshoots. This is the original werebat. No special poison, no special magic, no special whatever, just werebat. Tenguso. Now, this is very reminiscent of another book I did about a flying avian, an avian humanoid race. It was Japanese or Eastern Asian, and it's very, very similar because these werebats, just like those humanoid avian creatures, deal in the physical, which means like martial arts. The Tengu, I think, yeah, the Tengu. I think it was Rift's Japan. The Tengu. They dealt with the martial arts. They had a special martial arts form that only they can learn. Well, these Tenguso also deal in martial arts. Let's check it out. Are dedicated to the physical world, and they're sensual people who enjoy all manner of earthly delights. They work hard at keeping their bodies trim and fit, exercising long hours and practicing and learning varieties of unarmed combat, preferring those martial arts with earthly philosophies over those of more ascetic outlooks. Now, if you are using ninjas and super spies, then the Tenguso can learn martial arts and dedicated martial arts, but only those that do not focus on chi crap. They are more power for power's sake, of physical power or everything. So they're going to do body hardening. They're going to do all kinds of stuff like that. They're going to shy away from the stupid chi powers, which is great because I hate them too. They are bombastic, loud-voiced, enthusiastic, given to much hugging, touching, and partying. The Tenguso are very physical people. They live for the moment, always attempting to squeeze as much excitement as possible into that moment. They particularly consider the hunt a time of great excitement. They hunt humans primarily, though they occasionally dare each other to challenge more dangerous game like were-tigers, vampires, dibyuks, demons, spirits, or wizards. You know, for fun.
Wizards aren't humans?
I guess not. Wizards are a different thing to them. Challenges of this or any other sort are not offered or accepted lightly, as an individual werebat's rank within Tenguso society depends a great deal on one's physical accomplishments. So if you are bottom of the totem pole in Tenguso society, but then you go out and you kill yourself 5 were-tigers by yourself, well, now you got clout. Tenguso tend to ignore the Kunukome, disliking them as mystic, moralist nonsense people, and likewise dismissed most sorcerers, arcanists, scientists as worthless. Anyone with great physical or martial prowess, however, the Tenguso offer respect to, though they might also consider that being a worthy opponent to test their own skills. So they'll be respectful as they murder you or attempt to murder you. Here's their variation. They're more physically powerful than other werebats, adding an extra D6 to all their physical stats and speed. In addition, the Tenguso are all versed in martial arts. Each Tenguso possesses the equivalent of hand-to-hand martial arts. If you use ninjas and super spies, you might consider giving them access to dedicated or specialty martial arts, but nothing that gives chi or atemi abilities as a main thing because they don't like that crap. They don't do that mind over matter.
Yeah, mystic nonsense.
Yeah, the mystic nonsense is bullcrap. Mind over matter? No, body over matter. Duh.
Matter over matter.
Okay. Matter over matter. That sounds better. It doesn't. It sounds you go.
The Zats. Oh, we got the Zats.
Zatzola. The Zatzola. Werebats
Comes
of
up with these names.
Mexico, and Central America. Now, while I'm reading this, if you have seen the movie, the Tarantino vampire movie, you know which one I'm talking about?
I don't watch vampire movies, so.
Someone in chat, I'm blanking on it right now. I'm blanking on the name of it, but it had Salma Hayek in it. It had Tarantino in it.
Dusk to Dawn.
Yeah, there it is. There it is.
Thank you. Violence Sells Everything.
Thank you. Dusk Till Dawn. Think of that movie as I'm reading this. And many consider them to be the most fearsome of all the nations of the werebats. These Zatzola are not really much more savage than other bats, but most consider them as such for one simple reason. They actually are vampires. Oh. They are not related to any vampire intelligences or the undead that they breed, but the Zatzola transform into vampire bats and subsist only by ingesting the blood of animals and occasionally humans. The Zatzola.
So they're not PPE. They don't steal PPE then?
No. They actually drink blood.
Oh, okay.
They usually do cattle and goats, but if there's not a lot of cattle and goats, then they do people. In the past century, bands of Zatzola in Mexico have made an alliance with a vampire intelligence known as Creed. The Zatzola serve as shock troops and daytime protectors for the growing undead legions of Creed, and in return, the vampires are helping the Zatzola resist the advances of the Kamungus that are among us. God damn it. There exists a great deal of mistrust on both sides, but in a short amount of time, they have achieved a frightening amount of their goals together. The Kamungus are virtually unknown within Mexico and Central America because of this unholy union. The variation. Zatzola need blood to survive. Like the vampire, the Zatzola digestive system is designed to process blood of living creatures exclusively. They do not need and do not like solid food or drink, preferring the blood of animals or, in desperate times, humans. As living creatures themselves, however, Zatzola need to drink more blood than a vampire does. 10 pints of blood per night.
What?
10. That's a whole dude.
That's a lot.
That's a whole dude every night.
Is it 10 pints that we have?
Half a cow. Yeah. Total blood in your body is about, for an average human, adult human, is about, I think, between 8 and 10 pints.
Okay.
You die after you lose 5 or so, but you have a total of 8 to 10 pints. So that's a whole dude, or like a third or half of a cow. I don't know, something like that. So yeah, wherever they go, if there's lots of them, farmers are gonna have a bad day. Like real bad day.
How many of them are there? There can't be a lot of these guys.
No, there are not. Remember, there are not a lot of werebats. That's how they stayed hidden. There's not a lot of them. So, take that as you will.
And real quickly, because especially since you're doing vampire stuff here, are these bats mostly in Mexico, South America type stuff,
yes,
or
Mexico
is this
South America? This clan or this nation or this tribe is centered in Mexico and South America.
Okay.
They do not get the food they need. They will suffer the same hunger pangs as vampires do, only it takes twice as long. Now, the whole vampire thing is if they don't feed after some amount of time, they go berserker bananas, and they'll feed on anybody or anything until they get enough blood.
Okay.
Most Zatzola also have a vampiric ally or patron, and more than a few dabble in necromancy, flesh sculpting, and other dark arts. Where is... here we go. The Manama. Manama. Used to inhabit South America, but the Kamungus, who are have all but eradicated them. A few pockets of Manama werebats may yet exist, but most vampires consider them lost. In truth, where the Manama are concerned, few of the werebats have bothered to shed any tears. The Manama have an old reputation as cruel and monstrous creatures with a taste for torture. They hunted humans almost exclusively. Large, powerfully built, unredeemably evil, like all these other guys are choir boys. The Manama, as it was whispered, has made a pact with some kind of alien intelligence, perhaps a great old one. No. In return for unfathomable power. However, that power has perverted the Manama, twisting them into mockeries of lycanthropes. Well, let's see what the variation has done to them. Where's the variation? There it is. The 300 Manama still exist on Earth are some of the strangest creatures to ever call their home. They are no longer alive, transformed by eldritch energies into undead lycanthropic mockeries of living creature. The Manama are no longer fear silver and are immune to its power. However, fire has now become a problem for them, and their bodies actually burn like wood, catching fire and burning until it's put out or the fuel is exhausted, the fuel being their flesh. In game terms, flames do double damage, and any damage inflicted by flame cannot be bioregenerated. However, the Manama's natural bioregenerative abilities have become more powerful, and they can heal wounds inflicted by magic or other supernatural creatures at the rate of 2d6 hit points per melee round. That's very, very much like a vampire. Most frighteningly, the Manama are able to expand their ranks in a manner of lycanthropes of legend. Any human who dies at the hands of a Manama or loses 75% of his SDC and hit points in battle against one will transform into one of the beasts himself, thereafter becoming an NPC controlled by the GM. Memories of the new Manama's past life tend to be fuzzy, but they usually remember their friends and loved ones, which is a bad thing because they immediately decide to share their condition with them as soon as possible. Oh my God, I love my wife.
Everybody's doing it.
Everybody's doing it. Yeah. Oh, you got to get on this bandwagon. This is great. This undead werebat thing is awesome. Here, let me show you.
It'll only hurt for a minute.
Yep, and then it won't hurt anymore. The Todasa. The Todasa of Australia and Oceania are no more, eradicated entirely by the Kamungus that are among us. Unfortunately, no 11th hour savior appeared to rescue them from destruction, and they have truly passed into the realm of legend forevermore. Perhaps it's a fitting end, for the Todasa themselves were the bards and poets of the werebats, the keepers of legend and lore for centuries untold. With their passing, the combined knowledge and wisdom of several thousand years has been lost.
Goodbye.
Suck. Now, these are the general stats for a werebat. As you can see, normally they are 3d6 across the board.
But there are some bonuses that you provide.
There are some bonuses
mentioned about.
There are some variants that get a plus 1d6 to all physical stats. There's some variants of blah, blah, blah. And they have three forms: human form, beast bat form, and swarm form. In beast form, add 2d6 to all physical attributes and 1d6 to mental endurance. And the beast form can fly at a speed of 1d4 times 10 plus 10. They have a horror factor, 14 in giant bat form, beast form, and 12 as a swarm. They have a natural armor rating. Like the vampire, the werebat is invulnerable to virtually all weapons, including energy weapons, explosive, bullets, fire, wood, poison, drugs. However, like vampires, werebats are vulnerable to ordinary silver.
Are they vulnerable to squirt guns?
Probably not. Thus, a silver player dagger that does 1d6 SCC would deal 2d6 direct hit point damage to vampires. No, the werebats do not have SDC or MDC. Just like vampires, they have hit points only. Now, the regeneration power of a werebat stops at death, unlike vampires, which can regenerate even from death. So you can beat a werebat to death. You just got to have a really big hammer or a really silver one. As long as you get them to dead, they will stay dead. But getting them there is the tricky part. Natural abilities. While in animal shape, they have Prowl 90, Swim 50, Track by Smell 70, Night Vision of 100 feet, Bioregeneration, restores hit points at a rate of 2d6 hit points each minute. That's every 4 rounds. So like I said, nowhere near as strong as a vampire, which does 2d6 every melee round. Sorry, melee round, not every 4. Navigation plus 15%, track animals plus 20%, shape changing power. Like I said, 3 shapes: human, giant bat, and a swarm. Okay. In beast or swarm form, the werebat can utilize sonar to see its environment. And it's very much like the Heroes Unlimited superpower of radar sense or sonar, which you can interpret shapes, 65%, distance, direction, speed, exact location, all by echolocation. You also get +4 to initiative, +2 to parry and dodge, +2 to strike. 1 additional attack per melee, cannot be blinded, and suffers no penalties in darkness. Of course, foul weather gives half, and snow or dust storms make sonar useless. So you lose all bonuses in that. Magic, nothing that is normal, that is they're born with. They can learn magic, but they don't be born with it. They get +2 attacks when in beast form, which is nice. Bonus +1 normal across the board bonus, +1 initiative, strike, dodge, whatever. Damage depending on your form, beast or swarm. Average lifespan 75 years. Enemies humans, Kamungus that are among us, and other lycanthropes. The occasional vampire or vampire intelligence can be friendly to a werebat, especially if you're a certain tribe.
Imagine being a martial artist with 2 extra attacks per round.
Well, that would be the Tengu variant.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying that can be pretty impressive.
Yeah, it is impressive. And now we have the Kamungus this is what they look
among
like.
Us.
That are among us.
I don't like bug people. Then again, I don't like werebeasts either. So
no, they're not werebeasts. They're just humanoid praying mantis.
Yeah, but they're bugs. The only good bug is a dead bug.
You're absolutely right. They're really big though, and tough. They're not overly smart, but you don't have to be because they're really big and tough. Natural armor rating of 14 because of the chitinous skin. Deflect most small arms and is particularly resistant to explosives. They suffer half damage from all explosives, even if they penetrate the armor rating. So usually things with an armor rating, you hit them with high explosives because explosion damage bypasses armor rating. Goes right to the armor, does damage. Not with these guys, only half. And they are immune, and they're the perfect enemy to werebats because they communicate ultrasonically with their antennae, and in practice that means they can interfere with the signals of the werebats pick up with their sonar, making their ability useless. So whenever they're around werebats that are trying to use their echolocation power, it cancels it out as if it was in snow, which means they lose all their bonuses. So that sucks. That's why they're so hard to, beat. They have 2 attacks per melee in addition to any gained from skills. They do get skills, by the way. Bonus is +4 save versus poison or mind control, +1 initiative, strike and parry, blah, blah, blah. Magic, none to start, though many Kamungus among us pick up astral or biomantic abilities, and any sorceress Kamungus will be astral mages or biomancers. Again, this is only if you have the books that these abilities are spelled out in, then you can just make them straight up Leyland Walkers if you wanted to, or whatever. Damages, lifespan unknown. They haven't been here long enough, so we don't know. Since they do have supernatural strength, all claw and pincer attacks inflicts full damage to the HP of vampires, werebeasts, and other supernatural creatures, because damage from supernatural strength damages all those things. They weigh 200 to 300 pounds apiece, which is rough. They're big. I mean, they're about the same size as a werebat in their beast form. So there's that. So yeah, that is what we have for the werebats. Oh, one more thing. No, it wasn't the werebats. It was the other one. In our next segment, we are going to talk about necromancy OCC variants, and in there, I believe I thought it was here, but it's not here. In there is going to be a way to handle multi-classing. So get ready for that. But other than that, what do we have for chat?
Only one that I started was this one. Aren't old world bats fruit-eating bats?
Bats? Well, yeah. But these are part bat, part people, and people are omnivores. So I guess they got
all evil.
And they're horribly evil. Yeah. Most of them are horribly evil. At best, a werebat is a really bad selfish alignment.
You know, if you were evil, you would eat people.
Definitely.
You know it.
Come on.
Join the crowd.
Long pig.
Yeah, yeah, that's all we've got. So I'm looking forward to the necromancy stuff. Yeah, I mean, the werebats thing wasn't really interesting to me, but I think it is absolutely an interesting addition to either Nightbane or Beyond the Supernatural. It fits those settings wonderfully. And
technically, you could go into Rifts as well because anything can. So great. I mean,
just
if you
use
wanted
your
to,
conversion book.
you'd have to tweak it a little bit to fit in something like Heroes Unlimited, but yeah, it'll fit into Rifts as well.
You could fit into Heroes Unlimited as like a bad guy or a bad swarm that the superheroes have to take care of.
Yeah, you can.
All right, as always, please like, subscribe, and share. We appreciate everybody that was here. We're a small channel. We'd love to see more of you come back for more Palladium goodness or Free League that we're covering this year. Next year, we've got a whole slew of new types of topics that we're going to cover. A lot of old school stuff, various old school stuff. So it's going to be interesting to see how that goes over. And if you are a content creator, please check the description of this video. If you do your own YouTube, if you use OBS, well, you're probably good to go. But if you're like us and use StreamYard, you probably, if you haven't found out yet, you will find out very soon that StreamYard is over doubling the price of your subscription. So, we're looking to move over to Restream. We think that Restream, I didn't even know it had a studio. I knew all about its OBS integrations. I didn't even know it had a studio, but it does, and it seems to include everything that StreamYard does, plus more. So check the link out in the description. It'll take you right there. So appreciate everybody being here and hope to see you guys next time.